This is Kast card, and this is my daily spending device. I top it up with USDC on Solana, and then I spend it as per normal. So firstly, Kast card. Kast.xyz, a way to spend your stablecoins, supported by Apple Pay, Google Pay, and 140 million merchants and ATMs worldwide as well. I first heard about this last year before Breakpoint, and I would say this is more of a premium product, but I think Kast could become something that has like 100 million users. Now, my team made this comparison amongst all the top kind of crypto or semi-crypto cards out there, the biggest one being probably Revolut. And I actually do think Kast, K-Card, and X-Card, they are properly on top. But for transparency, you can see everything here. One thing that I think is very worthwhile is the fact that Kast doesn't have a token yet, but they have an active rewards program that will issue a token, and it's been documented in the future. So instead, like if you use your crypto.com card, and I have one, haven't used it in some time, but I have one, this is already a massive valuation. Revolut, this is a private company with a valuation of 48 billion. You have no upside. Bank of America, kind of pointless, plus it's kind of expensive when you're using transaction fees outside of the US. Gemini, it's US only. Seems pretty cool, but once again, there's just no upside with the potential of tokens. The token side is speculative, but I'd much rather have some tokens in a product or a dApp or a company that I think has so much product market fit, as opposed to just using something and getting a tiny amount of a reward or paying a small fee. Nexo, same thing, their token's been out since before 2020. Flocky, cool idea, but the token's already out. Solcard, there's no KYC needed here. Bybit, there's no upside. And MetaMask, there's speculative upside, but it doesn't work with Solana. So let's have a look at what the options we have. K-Card and X-Card. So this is essentially free, and this one you have to pay for. If you use my code, SebMonty, you get 20% off, brings it down to $800 a year. But then you get more reward points. The reward points are just, they're growing, and they will translate or transition into a token in the future. All of this is subject to like legal approval and whatnot. You can check out further information on the docs. One thing to keep in mind is if you're not paying in US dollars, then there is a 2% surcharge. So I'm in Europe, and every time I use it, I still happily pay this because I'm getting about 10% back in rewards points. And it's just very, very convenient. But at the same time, if you are living in the US, and this is a bit of a no-brainer, you don't have to pay anything. You're just getting rewards points just like that. So this is the most perfect product market fit for people in the US. But even outside the US, it's still decent. Let's have a look at some of the transactions I've made so I can show you what I've actually made in terms of reward points. The convenience factor is massive alone, but we'll have a look at this as well. So this is like an Amazon purchase. It was 76.44 euros. The real exchange rate with no markup is this amount in dollars. Kast charged me just under 2% as a markup because I'm paying in euros. But if I use my typical 3% markup rule, which is very typical, it's going to be more expensive. Plus, if you're using the free card, you can earn up to 6% in rewards. However, the rewards points, they're going to get lower and lower closer to token generation events. So a good idea to get involved now. Right now with my black card, I'm on around 10%. I went through multiple transactions. It was around 2%. I guess it just depends at that exact time how it's kind of worked out. I'm unsure. But the points earned is decent, and the convenience factor is just unreal. This one was in Australian dollars, and this one was a little bit different, bit of a strange one, but basically it is still worth it. This one here as well. So this is how it looks. You've added the card to your Google Pay. You just tap and then tap it on the FPOS terminal, and then it's going to do its transaction. This is in euros. And then it's going to give me two options. First option is, do I want to pay in US dollars or do I want to pay in euros? But you'll notice with this terminal, it has a markup percentage of 5%. So I'm definitely not pushing USD. I've noticed this in England as well. It's just way too high. It's just silly. 5% is just stupid. So instead, I tap on euros, and the next thing I tap is 2 to reject their conversion. I don't want anything to do with their conversion. I will pay euros. Happily, I'll pay euros, and then Kast does all the background stuff. And instead of paying 5%, I pay 2% for the conversion. Now let me talk you through the app a little bit. So you've got your receive button. If you tap on your receive button, you're going to see an address, of course, on-chain transfer as an example. You can go with different networks. So Ethereum, Polygon, Tron, and Solana. And you can go with USDC. There are other stable coins out there as well. Personally, I just go Solana and USDC. And then you've got your transactions down here. You can tap on this to see all of your transactions. You can see a few things here from Amazon, and I'm off to Dubai, so staking rewards conference. And in your top right is your notifications panel. And this is very, very handy because sometimes you book like a flight or whatever, and it needs you to approve it. as opposed to like opening a bank account and approving a transaction there. You just go in here and then there will be a prompt saying, do you approve this? And then you just have to tap approve and then put in your fingerprint or do your Face ID. As you can see from here, I'm earning like 10% in rewards points, 10%, 10%, 10%, and they all go into my rewards points kind of kitty, which I'll show you in a second. Next to your notification panel, you've got your cards. So you can add additional cards if you want. I've got one frozen card there, which I stopped using, and I've got a couple of K cards. And then my main card that I basically always use is my X card, the black one. The hamburger menu on the left, we just have normal things, refer, security, limits. You can actually buy like a Lamborghini if you want. There is like $100,000 limit, but if you contact customer service, then that can be increased. If you make it big time in the trenches, you can go and buy your Lambo. I wouldn't suggest it, but you can do it if you want. If you're going to do it though, you should film it. Everything's pretty standard and it uses your mobile phone number to log in, and you can add two-factor authentication as well, which I suggest. The next tab is refer a friend if you want to generate your own referral code, or of course use mine. Then we've got Kast points, so you can see I've been generating some Kast points just by using it, a couple of referrals as well. And finally, the last tab is concierge. Typically, I just use WhatsApp when I have a problem and it's solved pretty quickly. But you can use WhatsApp, WeChat, Telegram, or email if you like. The other thing is if you've got too much money in your Kast account and you need to send it somewhere else, just tap on send, and then you can go ahead and you can transfer it out to a crypto wallet. Or you can set it up as a bank transfer as well. You can also withdraw money at ATMs. There is a fee, but still the fee is lower than what I've paid with my traditional Web2 banking server. The fee doc is below as well. So why am I like properly bullish on this? Well, I think it's kind of obvious. If you dealt with Web2 banking, it's kind of difficult. And there are some countries that are more difficult than others. You get a frozen transaction, you get a block transaction, and that can happen sometimes. Not every provider in the world will accept Kast card. In India, I've heard there's some problems, but more and more are being added. Like there are a lot of merchants that will actually accept it. The card is issued from Singapore, so if they have a problem with Singapore, sometimes maybe it will be blocked or it won't work. But in general, it's basically always worked for me, other than paying for a Claude subscription and upgrading my Twitter Blue early on. It now works now. So the biggest reason why I'm using it is not just convenience. That's obviously a major thing. But like, as I said, feel this huge upside in the actual future of this company. I would love to have some rewards points in Kast, and exactly how that's going to translate, what kind of token, I don't know, but I think in my opinion, it's a bet worth taking. I've done a little bit of research as well. They did a seed round last year. They've also gone ahead and acquired Kaiji Labs. Unsure who they are, but they acquired them last year as well. This is their CEO, but probably one of the coolest hires is actually their new marketing exec. And this is Zach. Previously was a Phantom intern and marketing at Phantom, and before that, Google. In 2017, if someone managed to bring this to market in this kind of state, it would have had an insane valuation, like Crypto.com actually has. At the end of the day, I think Kast has the best product market fit. It's very, very convenient. I use it literally every day for everything, all the time. It's so much simpler than everything else I've tried. And I hope they're very, very successful. And I hope their rewards points system ends up really aligning like the early users and the community. And it certainly could happen. So I'll leave it with you. Sign up for Kast Card. Let me know your thoughts below.